listen, get everybody in the step together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
You have just listened to the Tank bootleg remix off of Benjamin Briggs' album, The Briggs Effect 2. If you want to check out the full version, hit up benbriggs.net. All his albums are there for name your prices, all great music all the time. This is an Ongaku Overdrive interview. I'm your host, Kent Ward. I am the guy who runs Ongaku Overdrive, which is a music festival dedicated to video games, anime, comics, and all that good stuff. This is part 2 of our Benjamin Briggs interview. He was in town recently for an extended vacation. If you have not listened to our first part yet, you should. It's pretty good stuff. And our second part is going to be even better. We're going to be talking about a lot of awesome stuff. So let's get right into it right now. How about that? Almost your entire catalog of video game remixes, so have the anime fans taken to your style of music as well?
Yeah, when I play anime cons, they don't mind if I only play video game remixes.
Cool.
And I just get up there and I'm straight up with them. It's like, listen, I know this is an anime convention, but I like video games the best, and I remix video game music, and I bet you guys like video games too. And like, you know, Pokemon is a good crossover for that.
Oh, yeah.
Playing Pokemon remixes is really great for anime cons because it's got its own anime.
And a lot of them like Sonic and Mega Man and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And but I always throw that Tank remix in there.
Oh, the Cowboy Bebop song, yes.
Yep, I remixed Tank by the Seatbelts. Just did a quick. That was actually before I came to Ongaku Overdrive.
Yeah, that was when you debuted it.
Yeah, I was actually packing to come to Florida for Ongaku Overdrive, and I realized, you know what, this is an anime-themed event. Like, I need to do something anime for once, and I absolutely love that song, so it was a natural fit.
It's a good dance song.
People go nuts when they hear those horns at the beginning. The crowd just immediately recognizes
yeah, because like Cowboy Bebop is so iconic, especially that soundtrack. I mean,
oh yeah,
even people who aren't anime fans have seen Cowboy Bebop, and they know. They know. Have you thought about doing any other anime remixes in the future?
I have, and since I'm still really sort of fresh. It's sort of embarrassing to admit as a nerd, I really am only a video game nerd. I never got into anime big time, I've never been into manga, I've never tried comic books, J-pop, K-pop, those kinds of music, stuff that is traditionally, I mean not necessarily traditionally, but like nowadays it's considered nerdy as well. It's all part of the one thing, but I'm still so new to the Japanese culture side of things, and it's so fascinating to me. And so yeah, I'm definitely considering doing anime remixes. I have to start watching more anime and find what inspires me. Like right now, I'm on Fooly Cooly. I've always loved Fooly Cooly, and I've watched it 1,000 times. It's definitely my favorite, and I'm getting into Welcome to the N.H.K.
Oh, dude, I love that show. That's a really interesting look at the otaku lifestyle in Japan.
And the whole hikokomori thing.
Oh yeah,
being a recluse.
The neat culture. Yeah, that's probably out of all like the animes that have covered that kind of culture, that one does it the best.
Oh man, I've only seen like 3 episodes yet, but it's so feelsy.
Oh, it gets better, and man, it hits some hard points home later on.
People say it gets tough to watch, so I'm looking forward to it.
We stick it out towards the end, man. It's worth it.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's a passion project.
Yeah.
So I love Full Metal Alchemist. And,
that's another good one.
Of course, Cowboy Bebop. But these aren't things that I've really delved into. It's just like I saw it on Cartoon Network or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Full Metal Alchemist still a beloved anime by a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of good songs in there too. Hint, hint.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like all the opening and closing themes for animes are ripe for remixing, and I really want to get on that and have be able to play that mind-blowing set for someone at an anime con.
Yeah.
Of like every single song was my favorite, you know? Like I want to give that to people. I love being a video game remixer, but I also love expanding my horizons and challenging myself. So
speaking of challenges, you just composed, well, I'm pretty sure it's your first video game. Am I correct in saying that?
It technically is my second video game soundtrack, but it's the first that is actually going to be in a game.
Oh,
the first one, there was an issue with the contract and an issue with communication with the people who hired me, and they sort of blew me off.
That sucks.
But always keep the rights. I kept the rights to the music, and then we got Mystery Gift out of it. So there's a little fun piece of trivia.
Interesting.
If you didn't know, my album Mystery Gift, the original quote-unquote fictional Pokemon soundtrack, was actually intended for a real game, and then that fell through, and since I retained the rights to the music, I went ahead and rebranded it. So secret's out. I really love Pokemon, and I'm glad that I was able to dress it up, but that was actually meant for like a bicycle or a motorcycle racing game.
No fucking shit. Wow. Yeah. I would not have guessed.
So, yeah, Star Clash is my second soundtrack, but it's my first one to actually be an official soundtrack. And it's available on my website right now for name your price. You can also order physical copies, and I'll mail them straight to your door. And the reason that I mentioned that it's out is not just to plug it, it's because the game itself isn't out yet. So right now the soundtrack is exclusive promotional content. It's pretty much the only thing you can do that's related to Star Clash right now.
Right.
And you know what? By the time this airs, the game may be out.
Right. Well, I plan on airing this soon, but do you know when the release date is?
I don't know. It's still in beta as far as I can tell.
Okay, well, how'd you hook up with those people?
My friend Doug Perry, also known as Drum Ultima, a great musician, just absolutely genius. Awesome vibraphone player, marimba player, mallets. We hung out at MagFest, and he ended up emailing me like right after MagFest and said, "Hey, are you interested in soundtrack work?" And I was like, "Hell yes, of course. That's my dream, is to compose a game soundtrack." So he passed my name along to somebody who was looking for Final Fantasy meets dance music. And I was like, maybe I can do the job. So we negotiated a price, and we got contracts signed up. And yeah, Jonathan Powell, the guy who organized the whole game, he's an absolutely amazing director because he gives his artists creative freedom. So if I had an idea about the sound effects or the music, he was down. He would listen, and he almost always would agree and let me do my own thing. I sent him my music, and he loved it, right off the bat. No revisions necessary. They thought it was perfect. And honestly, those are the only kind of people I want to work with. Like, commissions are cool, and being contracted is fun, but when it's a constant back and forth of making revisions, and the person telling you and describing the revisions doesn't necessarily understand music that well and can't really articulate what they want and maybe miscommunicate what they want, and then you try to fix it and they think it's worse afterwards. There's a lot of complications that can come from people having a specific vision for music, even not as a musician. So I really hope that I can find more people like Jonathan Powell.
So you're seeking
out... Love you, John. You're great.
So you're seeking out more game soundtrack work then?
Yes, I am. I mean, not actively. Like, right. I'm in a position where I do enough things to put myself out there that opportunities come my way, and I just sort of wait around.
All right, well, on the off chance that some game developers are listening, how could they contact you to, maybe get some work for you?
One of a million ways, but I guess if you want to email me, I will get that. It's ben@benbriggs.net.
Nice.
And you can just go to benbriggs.net if you want to contact me on Facebook. There's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all kinds of tabs at the top of the screen. There's a contact button on the Bandcamp page that will send me an email directly. If you can't figure out how to contact me, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I make it pretty easy. Ben@benbriggs.net.
All right, cool. So besides Star Clash and the Patreon work, what else do you got going on that you want to let your fans know about?
I've been really inspired by Shovel Knight recently,
so
I'm working on some remixes there. We're going to see how that turns out. I'm probably going to be collabing with Steffo from My Parents' Favorite Music and IQ, both local. Well, sorry, Steffo's
local.
not local.
Steffo's
Stephanie might as well be local. She's always down here.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool.
Yeah, so...
are you a fan of Jake Kaufman's work?
Jake Kaufman is a literal genius, and he's the most humble man I've ever met, and he's a class act, and I love him.
Was he at MagFest?
He was at MagFest a couple times. I don't know if he was at MagFest this past January.
How'd you meet him?
I met him through MagFest, but just through OCR. I knew of him through VG Mix and Overclocked Remix and all that.
That's cool.
And then met in person at MagFest, but I had been a fan of his music ever since I first heard it. I use the words literal genius, and that's seems like it's an exaggeration, but if you haven't heard Jake Kaufman's work, then you just don't understand.
I mean, there's that. There's Double Dragon Neon.
He's so talented.
So he did the DuckTales remastered game, so he's amazing.
Yeah.
But like, man, that game Shovel Knight is so fucking good.
Yes, and it's
probably my favorite game of the year, and that soundtrack's a big part of it.
Exactly, and I'm at this point where I downloaded the soundtrack. You know, I dropped $10 on Bandcamp and got the soundtrack. Because he deserves your money. Go buy the Shovel Knight soundtrack. Just do it. Don't download it for free. Go, if you got to steal some money, just steal some money and go buy it.
Rob a convenience store.
Rob a convenience store so you can buy Vert's music. But no, I'm at the music is just so good. I'm at this point where I'm listening to it in my iTunes and like just skipping through the tracks, listening to all of them because I haven't played through the game yet, and I'm just listening through the music and like. I'm at this point where like multiple tracks are like catching my ear. Like I want to put a drum and bass beat to that. I want to put a solo over that, you know. And it's very rare that a video game soundtrack, especially a new one, will inspire me to remix. And I don't know, it's cool.
Have you played Kirby Triple Deluxe yet on the 3DS? Because you mentioned before Kirby was the opening, pretty much the gateway for your interest in music. I just finished Kirby Triple Deluxe and. Pretty sweet game, and I love the soundtrack a lot. Have you gotten the chance to play it yet?
I have not played that.
Play it, and when you get the World 6 music,
Oh yeah, I'll
pretty
check it
fucking
out.
sweet. There's a lot of interesting compositions for that game. It tries to definitely contribute some new stuff to the Kirby universe.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of other new things. Oh, I'm doing a Super Mario RPG remix for Patreon.
Oh shit!
It's Beware the Forest Mushrooms. The da 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 da.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Everybody's done it to death, but that's the song that won the remix lottery. So I'm doing it, and
I'm going to enter this remix lottery because I know you did Peach's you did the boss theme for Mario RPG.
Yep.
I remember that, and I remember that because I was like trying to campaign for people to vote for Booster's Tower.
Yeah,
I love that song a lot.
That was a fun time.
I was like, Benny's remix.
I was secretly hoping for Booster's Tower as well.
Yeah, I think it lost by a couple votes or something. It was
But
really short.
The
It was
remix
really
that we
close.
got out of it was definitely cool. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one's amazing. That's a really like I mean a lot of your stuff's good, but that one's awesome. That one holds a special place in my heart from the first Ongaku Overdrive.
Oh yeah, because that's
someone got on stage without permission.
Oh yeah,
we won't throw him under the bus, but that made me very sad. Though I thought when the sound system went down for a moment, I thought that was part of the song because when Mario dies in that game, it does that kind of like shut down of the soundtrack. So I thought that was part of the show, and it stayed on for long. I'm like, oh fuck, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I was so worried.
What happened? It wasn't his fault. To be fair, like the way that they had the sound set up at Taste, they didn't have anything to prevent the volume from redlining. They didn't have anything to prevent clipping. So the microphones were just super hot, and my friend IQ got up and started hyping the crowd up, and he just happened to speak too loudly.
See, I don't want to use his name. I don't want to tell people who it was.
No, it's not his fault.
I know it wasn't.
He did a great job trying to hype up the crowd, and I appreciate it greatly. He's the nicest person I know. And the thing was is they didn't have their mixing gear set up properly to prevent the circuit breakers from tripping.
Well,
so,
that place is no longer.
Yeah, they're no longer in business, unfortunately. That's why they're just terrible with the speakers.
Well, they had old equipment. We didn't know that until the show happened. Like Mark Lassie told Chozo what was up like halfway through the show. Because we had issues like from the get go. I think the last show we did there was fine, but like shortly after they went out of business. And to be honest, I'm glad we moved to the Haven this past year.
Yeah, the Haven's awesome.
Yeah, that was great sound, great stage, and the audio crew there was.
I love all the venues out here in Florida.
It was amazing. Yeah,
there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of them where nerds fit in, and that's unique.
You just went to Will's Pub. How was that?
I went to Will's Pub for a ska show. I went to see Control This, which would be Justin Franco plays bass in that band. He's from Play It Loud. He's and it was I'm a huge ska was like I've always loved music, but when I discovered ska in the 90s, like I fell in love with that genre, and I will always love it. So like you see me dancing like a maniac on my own shows or like some electronic dance music, but if you see me at a ska show, like I'm going even harder, like even more energetic than I am on stage and I just remember I walked into the club last night, Will's Pub, right?
Yeah.
And there was a high energy ska band playing high energy dance music with the trumpets and everything. There was just a big empty space in front of the stage, and then like an arc, almost like a semicircle of emptiness, and then it just like 35 people just standing there. I'm like, okay, I don't get you people, and I just like jump into the middle and start dancing.
You always do that. Everywhere I've seen you, you do that.
Well, it's the thing is, you don't even have to have a microphone or be on stage or even appear to be anyone to be a hype man. All you have to do is like give less of a fuck than everyone else in the room. Like just go all out, 100%. Like clearly demonstrate that you don't care who's watching, and that automatically loosens everyone up. And the people that don't get loosened up, the people that want to leave that situation, they just don't want to have fun. That's my opinion. Like, if you see somebody dancing and you think it's stupid and awkward and it makes you uncomfortable, then like you shouldn't go to concerts because like you don't understand. Like, dancing is like the physical manifestation of an emotional response to art, and like to think that it's stupid or weird or it looks dumb, I hate that. Like, why? If something makes you want to move, just move. So, I don't know. I love being that guy. I love like going to shows where the people playing don't even know me and just like getting the crowd clapping along. Because you can, and it makes it more fun for everyone. Because that's the dynamic between crowd and performer. It's an energy that goes two ways the whole time.
That sort of thing's infectious too, man. Like, you just want to get involved and dance around too. I just put on your sandal. That's weird.
You did just put on my sandal.
Yeah.
It is sort of weird.
It is what it is.
On that note...
On that note, well, let's wrap things up. This interview went a lot longer than scheduled, so that's fine. We're going to break it up into parts, so that'll make it even cooler.
Cool.
Well, like, we talked about OC Remix. You've since moved on from OC Remix. I want to talk about this final part, because I think, you know, you hooked up with DJ Cutman not too long ago, and he had this crazy idea for, like, a licensed video game remix label called GameChops.
Yep.
So I want to, like,
just crazy enough to work, actually.
It is. It looks like there's a great lineup of DJs and remixers and artists.
Tons of talent, tons of amazing albums. Yeah. And with the help of Louder.fm, that's LOUDR.fm, spelled like Tumblr, sort of. They do licensing, and it's basically a Bandcamp-esque service, but they do licensing and they pay royalties to the original copyright holders for any cover songs you've got. They also push to iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Google Play, and it's all for pretty much the same price as Bandcamp. So, like, with their help, Chris Cutman has been able to turn GameChops into a legitimate business venture where we're actually paying our royalties and nobody's doing anything shady. It's like, hey, look, we're supporting these people, and you're also you can support us and you can support the people who made the music.
So, like, the latest GameChops album is the Katamari Dance album. So, like, N.H.K, for example, would get a little bit of that money.
Yes. And sadly, it's probably, like, not the composer themselves, you know, because of how legal things work. It's probably, like, someone on staff that ends up getting the royalty.
Well, it's probably, like, the company in general.
Or just the company itself, exactly. Yeah. And you know, I'm excited about remixing Shovel Knight, because if I can put that on Louder, then I know that he personally is getting the royalties because Jake owns all of his music the same way that I do. I've actually trying to touch base with him to just, you know, ask for his blessing. Sorry, Jake, I already started on the album, so I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm looking forward to it. Other GameChops DJs, let's see, we got DJ Cutman, obviously the man behind it.
Yep.
Our buddy
Kevin Vallejo.
Yeah, I love Kevin Vallejo. That Year of the Yoshi album is fucking awesome.
Every track is perfect.
I love the boss.
Killed it, Kevin.
Yes, you did. Kevin's awesome. I love the Boss Beats album that Absurdist put together.
Absurdist. Oh.
Yeah.
Absurdist and Grimecraft.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin and just I love all these people so much, and they're all so talented, and it's such an honor to be friends with them at all, and like to be friends and co-workers, you know, that's even better, to be colleagues with people who inspire me and make music that I think, how did you do that? Like, I listen to Kevin's beats and I'm think, how did you make it sound so clean? I listen to Absurdist's music and I'm like, how did you even think of these melodies and these chords and these rhythms? And then I listen to Grimecraft and I'm like, you've invented a style, and it all sounds so impossible to me. And it's so inspiring because they just make it, and then sometimes they'll send me a track and be like, does this sound good? I'm like, of course it sounds good. You made it. You guys are geniuses. Please teach me.
Yeah, I would love to bring all those guys down. And I mean, MagFest with that video game DJ music battle just blew my mind. I would love to do something like that down here at some point.
Yeah,
whether
it's the
it be
best, man.
Yeah, whether it be for Ongaku Overdrive 3 or convention or something. So I would love to just...
The GameChops DJ battle needs to be a traveling act.
I agree with you. Maybe we
need
can
a tour.
Maybe we could Patreon that.
Yeah, let's Patreon it. Let's do an Indiegogo.
Yeah, because that needs to fucking happen. Like, I mean, Kevin did a gig here. It was cool. But, you all need to be in front of like hundreds of people, if not more.
And that's
just
our thing.
Jamming out.
Is like, it's fun to say that you're a DJ, but when you say that you're a DJ, people like to put you last. And we're no longer just DJs. Like Cutman and I together,
are performers.
We're a performance act. We're there to give you a good time. It's not just, I don't know. We have merchandise to sell.
Oh yeah, I
we're
agree
not
with
just
you guys.
DJs.
You guys got to sell that. And what I've noticed is, especially with Orlando Nerdfest and also with Nerdapalooza, like you guys, well, Cutman went on last for Nerdapalooza on Friday, and most people have gone by then. You guys went on right after Nobuo Uematsu, and I felt so bad seeing that.
Happens.
Well, it happened. I mean, like you're going on after one of the greatest game composers of all time, and then he's doing an autograph session right after his performance while you guys play. So I knew how that was going to turn out. So I'm like, we need to get them We need to get them an additional set somehow on the show.
Well,
which we ended up pulling off, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for those kind of events, what you guys do, I think fits great in the middle. Like I put you in the middle of Ongaku Overdrive 2 because I knew that was going to get the crowd hyped up for the rest of the night, and that worked out very well.
Yep. Yeah. We would love to be in the lineup.
Yeah.
More so.
I know.
In years.
I mean, I'd love to have you, Kevin, and Chris down for sure. So we got to figure that out. We need to get some money.
Let's get some money. Go rob a bank.
Maybe we'll do an Ongaku Overdrive Patreon. I'm going to research that, definitely. I think everyone should.
Yeah, Patreon. It's patreon.com. It's very, very cool.
All right, and one more time, how can people find your music and jam out to it?
That would be benbriggs.net. benbriggs.net. And there's everything you need there. It's a one-stop shop.
Awesome, man. I love your music, and I love seeing you come down to Orlando as often as possible. And
I love it here.
Look forward to the next time you come down here, man.
I'm very much planning on probably moving here. They've offered me some opportunities at the Geek Easy, which is my absolute favorite place to hang out in Orlando area. And you know, I've been hosting some events for them, being the MC on the microphone, playing music in between acts, making sure everybody gets taken care of. I've been running sound and doing mixing a bit, and everyone there is just so happy to have me, and knowing that I have a place in Orlando makes it really, it brings my motivation level up to move. Because I think as an artist, it's important to eventually leave the nest. Like you have to get out of the place where you've always lived, because you can't be fully inspired if you're like in the, I don't know, if you're just where you always have been, it's always going to be kind of like normal and duller and boring. Like if I move here, it'll be a new place.
Alright, so follow Ben on the Facebook and Twitter and all that other good stuff, and follow our Ongaku Overdrive Facebook and Twitter, all that stuff, because when Ben decides he's coming down to Orlando, you're going to be finding out from all of us, and it's going to be an amazing time.
And shit gets crazy, so be careful.